Good morning, Viking fans. This is Justin in Rochester. Purple and gold for days. It's been what, almost 18 hours? And I'm still not believing what I saw. But as Trent Tucker once said when the Timberwolves were really young, you've got to believe. You've got to believe. There's no more doubt. You just got to believe. We're going to break this ridiculous heavyweight knockout that the Vikings and this W we just put on Orchard Park right after this. Now, listen, we did all this talking last week about Case Keenum and Josh Allen versus Kirk Cousins. We did all this talking about the cook-off between brothers Dalvin, Cook, and all that stuff. But I'll tell you what, the biggest heavyweight battle yesterday was two of the top 5 receivers in the NFL, and Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs. Listen, we know JJ's our guy, and that Diggs is a lovely loss. We are going to be a little biased, but I'm going to say it right now. Try and tell me that there's a better wide receiver in the NFL than Justin Jefferson. And I'll say, please explain to me how you're going to come to that conclusion. Listen, let's pull off our Vikings hats, jerseys, and passion for 1 minute. Imagine being a fan of another team not named Buffalo and Minnesota and just watching that game and watching the brilliance that both wide receivers put on that field yesterday. I mean, listen. That was the whole anything you can do, I can do better between those two wide receivers. And to a certain extent, you can say that about the quarterbacks too. But how many ridiculous one-handed catches? How did he come up with that? How did he do that? Did we have yesterday? And at the end of the day, they were both spectacular, but Justin Jefferson had just a little bit more than Steph did. I'll tell you what, going into that game, I said, I don't care who the quarterback is. I just want to get a W. We got the best of both worlds yesterday, ladies and gentlemen. We got to beat Josh Allen. And now you can't have any more excuses about, well, backup quarterbacks this, injuries that. Listen, I'm not saying I was afraid to play Josh Allen. I said, yeah, I want to get the victory no matter what. But now you got the victory, and you did it by beating Josh Allen. And there is no doubts anymore. If you still doubt this team, what are you, Mike Florio? If you still doubt this team, please explain to me why. Other than the fact that, okay, you've been a Viking fan for more than 5 minutes. This team's let us down in the past. This team looked to have the best teams in 1998, 2009, had a pretty dang good one in 2017, and Lucy always pulled the ball away from Charlie Brown. That's what we're doing. If you're still feeling hesitant, if you're still feeling like you don't know if you can buy in, then you never will. It's as simple as that. If you don't buy in now, you never will. Listen, there were 3 times yesterday I'm like waiting for Buffalo to just go up one more score so I could find something else to do. I mean, I wouldn't have, but that's what it felt like. And every time this team was just about dead, like The Undertaker, rising back up. They can't do that again, can they? Well, maybe. Listen, same problems have happened this entire season, other than Green Bay and Philly. You get a 3 and out on your first drive defensively, and then you go down and score a touchdown. You cannot have a better start than that. Okay, so Buffalo comes back and ties the score. That's fine. It's now 2 possessions to 1 and you're tied. Oh, what did the Vikings do? Oh, they go 3 and out. Give it right back. Buffalo scores. All right, cool. Then what happens? Oh, Kirk air mails a pass to KJ Osborne. Okay, that happens. You know, you can't expect perfection all the time, but those 2 drives are 2 drives where you had opportunities to get really far behind, and Buffalo nearly knocked you out. Defense got your back, Kirk, after that interception, holding them to a field goal. But then what do? We don't score the rest of the first half. I'm going to say this. Defensively, you cannot ask any more of a team than to give up 30 points on the road against Josh Allen and only giving up 6 in the second half. Yes, they gave up lots of yards. There were drives where it was hot knife through butter, but they made plays. Get that fumble. Cameron Bynum returns it. Kevin O'Connell outsmarted himself a little bit, trying to get too cute around the 2-minute warning in the second quarter. It's 3rd and 1 after the 2-minute warning, and you try 2 pass plays. Listen, I understand being aggressive. I like aggressiveness, but there's also a point in time where you have to say, all right, listen, we got to get this first down one way or the other, and if we don't, we need to run the ball to either get Buffalo to take some of their timeouts or to bleed some of the clock so that Buffalo can't just come right down the field and score on us if we fail, which is what they did. Could have easily been, 17-13, 17-17, ends up being 24-10 at the half, and boy, it did not look good. They put that stat, 1968, 1969, since they have lost a home game where they were up by 14 points at half. History made. I'll say this. First drive, thinking, all right, get the ball first, get a touchdown. Okay, we're not out of this yet. Interception. Worst interception ever this season? Probably. Kirk, what were you doing? There's a difference between aggressive interceptions and I don't know what that was. Panic, scared. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't even know if he knows what he was thinking. The point I'm getting at is, as I've said, I'm not going to criticize Kirk for throwing aggressive interceptions. That wasn't an aggressive interception like last week against Washington at the end of the half. That was bad. And right then and there, that was like, okay, they are this close from being knocked out. But defense had his back again. Okay, so we got this back and forth in the third quarter. Nobody's doing much. Defense is stout, both sides. Okay. Are they going to be able to have enough time, enough possessions to do something? Boom! 81-yard Dalvin Cook out the gate. I'll tell you what. Dalvin Cook, all y'all want to cut Dalvin Cook after this year, trade him. His speed's gone. Okay. Get back to me again and tell me again how we need to trade Dalvin Cook and just roll with Alexander Madison. Tell me again, because I ain't listening to that mess. But I'll tell you what, aside from Dalvin Cook's great run, that was great blocking. Outstanding blocking by everybody, not just the offensive line, the wide receivers, the tight ends. When Dalvin Cook gets through the hole and only has to make one guy miss to score a touchdown, that means you had 9 other guys with a hat on a hat, as John Madden used to say. Get one hat here and one hat here and a seal here and boom! And Dalvin Cook was out the gate. Okay, down 10 points, a little bit more back and forth, and a couple more opportunities go by the wayside, but the defense kept them in the game. I kept saying all year the offense is supposed to be the strength of the team, and the defense just needs to be kind of whatever. This defense isn't just kind of whatever anymore. They are an opportunistic defense that somehow, some way finds ways out of nowhere. Even though they give up points, even though they give up yards, they find ways. Zadarius Smith, Daniel Hunter, we only got 2 sacks yesterday. I mean, it is Josh Allen. At some point, you just got to throw your hands up to the other guy who's just so daggone good. But defensively, held him down. Didn't give up points. Vikings get the ball back. I'll tell you what. There are times where Kirk Cousins drives me crazy. But I've said it before. I will say it again. I will link to that video. This version of Kirk Cousins is different. And it's not just Kevin O'Connell. He is different. You can say, well, the environment around him is different, which has allowed him to flourish. Fine. There's probably some to that. You can say Kevin O'Connell is pushing him in ways that Zimmer couldn't because he's actually supporting him when he's pushing him. Fine. I don't care. Call it whatever you want. Whatever it is, I'm here for it. I never thought I would say this much, that I'm here for Kirk Cousins. He'll still drive us crazy. He will still have those terrible picks in the first half where the Vikings really needed him to see some of the momentum and not give it to Buffalo, who can score points in bunches. It's going to drive you crazy. But he's going to find a way. I never thought I'd say this. This year, he's finding a way. He's doing just enough to be like, okay, no. You think you're done yet? No, come back. No. Brilliant drive that ended in the C.J. Ham touchdown. Brilliant play calling the second half, particularly in the red zone by O'Connell. All that misdirection, these guys moving this, that guy. Guy ran right past C.J. Ham with the ball. He didn't even look at him. He's like, nope, I got to get that. Oh. C.J. Ham walked right by a guy. And then Greg Joseph got to miss the daggone extra point. Every time the Vikings are starting to get something going, they miss the extra point or a missed field goal. But I tell you what, in hindsight, it wasn't actually the worst thing because it forced the Vikings to stay aggressive. Because guess what? Butterfly effect. He makes that extra point. It's 4th and 1. Kevin O'Connell, you know he's going to kick that field goal to tie it up. But if he doesn't kick the field goal and it plays out where you don't get in on the quarterback sneak, and then you get that ridiculous defensive touchdown, well, then Buffalo's not kicking a field goal to tie it at the end. So, Greg Joseph, I'm done with you. I mean, I can't be done with you because they're not going to replace you this late in the season. But I'm telling you right now, I'm done with this dude. After this season, gone. El finito. See you bye. But at the end of the day, he made his field goal in overtime. But circling back, this game, you thought when Kirk Cousins missed the quarterback sneak, CJ Ham scored that touchdown. You know, here's what happened. Kirk Cousins was going to do the quarterback sneak, and Ham was behind him, was going to get behind him and push him. Well, one of them defensive linemen knocked one of the offensive linemen into Kirk and just shift him a little bit to the left. So all of a sudden, Cook isn't behind him with his full momentum. I'm like, okay, game over. Well, not quite. Saying, okay, we didn't get it, but it's on like the 2-inch line. They need to get this safety. Like, they need to have this one play. Get a safety. They can punt it to you. You got one timeout. You only get to do this on one play. It's not going to happen if they gain a yard on the second play. So I'm thinking, oh, safety. All right. I think I heard on the radio call on a replay. I was like, yeah, we got this. Give us that safety. And all of a sudden, like, wait, there was a fumble. I didn't see that. I for dang sure did not see that. All of a sudden, touchdown. Here we go. But then we got to play Ed Donashell's defense. Let him get down the field, go into overtime. Ugh. Why? But you know what? Good drive in overtime. I got to circle back, though. I'm going to circle back to that JJ catch at the end. I know. I skipped over it during this recap because I'm going to save that one for the end. Overtime, great drive. Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins. Clutch. Except for the fact that we get down to the 2-yard line. How many times they come away with 2 field goals? Come on, y'all. We got to be better than that. Against Buffalo, hey, we found a way. So I ain't complaining. Patrick Peterson, take a bow. I prefer you go down before you start celebrating and doing all this, kind of like you did when Harrison Smith got that interception against Arizona. But whatever, dog. Do whatever you want. I don't even care anymore. This team finds a way. How? I don't know. I said the over-under on heart attacks is 2.5. It went over by about, I don't know, a wide margin. I hope your hearts and your stomachs can take it, ladies and gentlemen, because that's what this team is. That's what it is. That's what it is. Justin Jefferson. Let's get back to that boy. He's just one bad dude. Anything you can do, Stephon Diggs, I can do better. Listen, I'm not trying to be like whatever, because those two were just both brilliant yesterday. But I'll tell you what. Coming out that 2-minute warning, 4th and 18. I said it last night when I was on Rap Show. I just expected Buffalo to bring the house and just pressure Kirk Cousins. I don't know why they only rushed 4 and sat back in a zone. You gave Kirk Cousins what he wanted, which is, give me a few seconds, let my guys develop. And that was one heck of a throw by Kirk Cousins, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. All the Kirk Cousins doubters like me or haters or whatever, give that dude some props. Because there were 5 guys all surrounding him. Yes, we all know that when he went up, there was a guy behind him who frankly should have had an interception or at least should have just knocked the ball down. But that was a threading of the needle by Kirk Cousins to get that ball there. To go up, he's turned around, he's backwards, one hand, the other guy's got 2 hands. When I watched it live, I thought that ball hit the ground. As it turns out, it wasn't the ball hitting the ground. It was, underneath him and whatever. And then I see people on the Vikings sideline jumping. I'm like, wait, he caught that? You've got to be kidding me. He caught that. Unbelievable. I don't know what's more unbelievable, that he caught that or that defensive touchdown that somehow they fumble when all they need to do. How the heck you not execute a center quarterback exchange? That's not clutch, Josh. I'll tell you what, that ain't clutch. You weren't clutch yesterday. Kirk Cousins was. I don't even know what to say about this team anymore other than I will be on at 6:30 Central Time on my channel here, Purple and Gold for Days, simulcasted and brought to you by the Purple Code. It's a day with Mike and Kyla. It's going to be lit. Mike was at that game, as was Bossman Rick. He's got some stories, I'm sure. It's going to be fun. Please join me tonight, 6:30 Eastern Time on my channel, Purple and Gold for Days, brought to you by the Purple Code, a day with Mike and Kyla. Let's also be simulcast on the Purple Code feed as well. I don't know what else to say other than I just can't believe it. I can't believe what I saw. And I know why? It's because we still had our doubts. The Vikings have removed all doubts. Well, are they a contender yet? They've been a contender for 2 weeks. Now they really are. Now we got this game against the Dallas Cowboys. I said last week, we got 2 of the top 5 teams on our schedule the next 2 weeks. And then 3 days later, we got the Patriots. We don't need to argue about, well, are the Vikings better than the Bills? Are the Vikings better than the Cowboys? We need power rankings. ESPN doesn't have us very high. Mike Florio doesn't have us very high. Who cares? Who cares? Who cares? Let them rank us low. Let them keep underestimating us. Let them keep putting us under the radar. That's fine. We do well when we are under the radar. We don't always do so well when things are expected. So you know what? If we want to stay on the radar, that's fine with me. But I'll tell you right now, wasn't Kirk Cousins' best game? Because first half and first part of the third quarter was garbage. But once again, I said I'll link it. This version of Kirk Cousins just knows how to find a way to get it done. And by the way, props to the offensive line yesterday. I know offensive line could have been better in those red zone opportunities where we could have put touchdowns on the board after getting down to the 2-yard line. But Christian Darrisaw with a possible concussion. That line held up pretty well yesterday, all things considered. I'm going to wrap by saying this. Join me tonight, like I said. This team just finds a way. Now, it's going to be real tough next week against Dallas. We're going to get into that all throughout the week. And you know what? Had a handful of injuries yesterday. We've managed to avoid that injury bug. But going on the road and facing a team like that, yeah, you come out of it a little bit of a walking wounded. So this is one of those weeks. Celebrate the heck out of this. But yeah, we're just going to keep coming on this. You know what? I'm going to end it by just simply saying this. Join me later. You've got to believe. Are we contenders now? Yes. That was a knockdown, drag-out, 15-round heavyweight fight. You had the Cook brothers. You had the wide receiving square-off matchup. And yeah, like I said in my preview, I said, Kirk, just go out there and ball out. Didn't ball out the whole game, but balled out when it mattered. When it mattered. Both quarterbacks had their ups and downs yesterday. I'll tell you what, he held his own on the road against Josh Allen and company. And this team, I don't know what to say anymore. This team, that's it. This team. There are days where it's offense, there's days where it's a defense, there's days where it's a special teams, and then there's coaching. I'll tell you what, Moose Johnson said it a lot yesterday. They didn't quite do all of the things that they had been doing to win on the margins. Yeah, because they were facing a better team. You can get away with that against non-Buffalo teams. We've been talking all season. What's sustainable? We need to be more consistent. We need to tighten things up because that's not going to work against Buffalo. You're right. It didn't work. They just found a way again. But it took everything. Keep playing with that fire, you're going to get burned. But for right now, I'm going to enjoy walking into work. Oh, my Packer buddy finally like, hey, we won. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's nice. You came back from 14 against Dallas at home. That's nice. That's nice. Congratulations. Too little, too late. Okay, so you beat Mike McCarthy. We happy for you. We ain't done with you yet. You guys can keep on pretending like you still something because you're not. We'll show you how it is to beat Dallas at home next week. We'll show you. But in all seriousness, thank you kindly for joining me. This is Purple and Gold for Days. I am Justin in Rochester. Thank you again for joining me. It was great to have you with us. Please like, comment, and subscribe and share this with your friends if you haven't already. Again, tune in 6:30 Central Time this evening, leading into Monday Night Football. I will be on again with my compatriots Mike and Kyla for a day with Mike and Kyla. Brought to you on the Purple Code. Thank you again. We'll see you then. Vikings win. They did it again.